Owen, good to
Hey.
have you on here. Thank you very much for being here. Just first things first with you. Now, your father, Theo, is a musician in his own right, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I mean, and he was with the Atlantics, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm assuming that he had some sort of an influence on you kind of getting into music. But what I wanted to start off with was what was the catalyst for you to become interested in making your own music? Do you remember what that was?
Man, I don't know. I've always been a big fan of music since I was a wee kid, like getting up early to watch, the film clip shows. Rage, they call it in Australia.
That's a good name for it.
Rage, yeah, it's sick. We were playing with the Ty Segall band the other night, and they were like, "Oh, we're hosting Rage on in the next couple of days." I'm like, "That is an Australian institution." So yeah, that was on every like Saturday, Sunday morning. So that's I think just instantly got me, and it turns out that's what I'm into.
That's awesome. It's funny that you mentioned institutions. I mean, Ty, from where I'm from in California, he's in the from the same county as me. So that I mean, that's like a major player to come out of my general area here
You know, Orange
too.
Orange County boy.
Orange County. Me and Ty Segall, that's it. No one else. That's
That's it.
just us. But that
Wasteland otherwise.
yeah, that's it. It's we're the last two standing. He lives in
And
Los
some ska
Angeles.
bands.
There were no there was a there were a couple of gems to spawn out of this area, but yeah, Ty's one of them. So it's just interesting that those two cross paths, and he's fantastic. Um,
Yeah.
but enough about Ty. He's not on this episode. You're on this episode, Owen. So, um, was that sort of a driving factor to want to be a part of the music institution that you grew up with? Was that always a kind of a driving force or something that you wanted to try? Or was that not really your bag? That's just kind of what got you interested in music in general.
Um, I don't know what happened. It just seemed to be something that I was drawn to, and I've never really thought about beyond that. This is how I am. Like it just seemed to be their thing, and like parental stuff aside, I think the only real influence that had is that there was always a guitar and a piano in my house, which was cool. Still can't play the fucking piano um, at all. I wish I could like. One day I'll put the time in. But my old man always was like, "Don't go into music. It's a bad industry. It's a bad job. Get another job." And maybe that is the true reason why I got into this.
Do you think you would have the same relationship with music, regardless if you were brought up around it or not?
Um, man, I got no idea. If you go, you know, if you go back in time and kill John Connor, does the Skynet robot takeover still happen? It finds a way, I guess.
I think so. I that's
Yeah.
my theory. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Has your perception of music changed since you began making it? Have you viewed it or listened to it differently at all?
Um, I try not to, I record a lot of bands too. I spend most of my days like recording, mixing, and mastering records for people. But when I'm enjoying music, I try to switch all that stuff off completely and just be able to sit back and not think about hi-hats or, some some shit like that. I just want to sit down and enjoy it. I still love it. I If anything, I just get deeper into it, and I've gotten down more weird rabbit holes of private pressing records and whatever to satiate whatever this weird urge is to find more music. I also DJ constantly, like maybe 2 or 3 nights a week, just because I love it.
Wow.
So
So you're
I'm
so you're
buying
not really
records.
connected to music at all. That's what I'm gaining here, and I understand now.
Yeah, I'm more a whatever's on the radio guy.
Right, right, right. Did you have to kind of train yourself to kind of be able to step back and not observe it the way that you would observe recording somebody or recording something? Is that was that kind of a process of like, I'm just gonna ease back into this and not kind of have any sort of, oh, I wonder what kind of sticks this guy was using or something super in depth like that.
It does it does come up, but I try to make that my, like, office, when I'm in the recording studio, I'll have people around and, we'll be trying to figure out how someone made a particular sound, and we'll just be sitting there figuring it out. But when I'm home, I'm generally like, "That sounds cool. What's next?" Like, I try at the in the studio, I've got, ridiculous speakers that I bought because I was like, "This is my job. I need to get the right tools." But in my house, I've just got, I mean, I could show you, I've just got, the coolest looking speakers that people hate the sound of, but, like, they're they're these ridiculous ones on the legs.
I
Like,
like it, man.
yeah, I've just got, a random turntable right behind me that I found on the side of the road, and I'm like, I don't wanna get into I'm not some audiophile guy at home, I just wanna enjoy this shit, and maybe when I get old or something, that'll give me a thing to pursue, but until then, I'm happy just having this whatever in the house. Sounds good enough, and the studio is, like, the analytical place.
So one day, full audiophile setup in the house along with you playing piano. These are the two things that are happening in the future for you.
Yeah, man, and also, maybe that'll be my opportunity to finally appreciate jazz or classical music.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Like, someone's like, "Oh, I've been getting into jazz." I'm like, "Not don't show it to me, not ready."
What what is a previous genre that was like that for you that you finally said, okay, let me explore this, and you wound up actually enjoying?
When I was, like, 20, I started work as a mechanic in an old scooter shop that, worked on, like, old Vespas and Lambrettas, and there was, like, a bit of a scene of, like, older than me guys who would come in, and there's, a big kinda, mod
I was
ska.
gonna say mods. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Rolling
and then,
through.
there's, like, a bit of a trad skinhead scene in the not racist way, the
Right,
cool
right,
the
right,
cool
right.
the cool ones, just to hammer that home. And we put nights on, and there'd always be these reggae DJs that came on, and all the guys would do their special little dance and stuff, and I was kinda like, I don't know about this shit." And now, a few years later, I've bought heaps of I'm really into Jamaican rocksteady records. I'm opening for a guy called Mad Professor DJing on Sunday because I like this stuff so much, playing through a big sound system. So, there we go.
So
It
that
happens.
was that was one. And so you're expecting the jazz era to begin at some point.
Yeah, I went from, 0 Jamaican records to, hundreds of these expensive Rocksteady 45s because I can't get enough.
I'm really looking forward to that new page in your life.
We'll see when I'm ready. I think a time will just come.
That always seems to happen, not just with getting turned on to new music or whatever. It just happens when it happens. It's a for a lot of things. Did that kind of happen with with music? I mean, the music that you went on to make, is that sort of, it just naturally occurred sort of a thing, or was it something that you were kind of pursuing? And what I'm alluding to right now is a straight arrows, kind of how that got arranged.
Yeah, I guess I was a lot of I think a lot of people got turned on to, 60s records by that Nuggets compilation,
Hmm.
and, so a friend lent that to me when I was, 17 or 18. I was working as a pizza boy,
This
which
is
I hated.
pre scooter shop.
Pre-scooter shop, I was a pizza boy, and, it was for one of the chains with a, tabletop game name, and,
People know what we're referring to. We'll just say it though. Pizza Hut. Anyways, yeah. So you're working at Pizza Hut.
and I hated the job, but it was the only job I could get, I was delivering pizzas. I was making pizza dough. Or I worked the day shift, so I didn't have to talk to anyone. A friend lent me this box set. I was just listening to it, and I was like, "What is this shit? This is a 4 CD box of like." Actually, I think it's still got it right behind me. Anyway, yeah,
There it is.
it's got this crazy book that I still haven't managed to get all the way through, and I'm sitting there bored as fuck between waiting for the dough mixer to finish the next batch so I can make like 110 pizza bases. And so I'm just reading this stuff, listening to this thing, and it was like a new world beyond the regular stuff of that style that you hear, like Beatles, Stones, Kinks. It's like there's also a million other weird bands doing slightly more unpalatable stuff that sounds pretty cool.
And you were listening to this in the pizza restaurant while
Yeah,
making.
yeah. They ended up taking the CD player away because of that, sadly.
So that was around the time that stuff started happening, or I mean, inspiration wise, I guess, for you.
Yeah, I finished high school, which you know, high school, what I didn't like it very much. Went to university, ended up dropping out, but going there I met some slightly more like-minded people. So, and I'd been playing back then I was a drummer. I'd been playing drums for hours every day because I seemed to like it. And so I could meet people that were into similar stuff and we trade records and start trying to make bands.
Now this is around 2007 that this is happening.
That was when Straight Arrows started. So that was a
Hmm.
couple years later.
Okay, gotcha. Now,
So like,
that was kind of leading up into Straight Arrows being formed. When that kind of took off, did you have an idea of what you wanted to do with the band at that point, at that early stage?
I with another band that I'd been in when I was a drummer a couple years before, we've been gone on a European tour. We got asked to support the band Mudhoney across Europe. And I got to go on an international tour for the first time and seeing the hospitality of European venues was mind blowing compared to what we get in Australia. And I think the same in the States too. Like
And so I've heard.
it's I'm thankful for all these places that put on music, very much so. But there's a difference between like, all right, here's 2 beers, get your shit out of here, to like the European. Here is as many beers as you want to drink. Here's dinner. Here's a hotel room, and here's some money.
Wow. And it still wasn't enough
It's
for you, right? That still it wasn't cutting it.
I'm not done yet.
No, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
I'm
jump
still
the gun there.
I'm still that's why I'm still playing music. See what's next. But I think the idea with Straight Arrows was I'd done a bunch of recording on a 4 track. My friend Al had come around and helped me out on some of that. He lent me his 4 track. And he was in the band. He's in the band. And I was like, you know what? I really want to put out a good 7 inch and I want to somehow get back and tour Europe because it's a different world. Like Australia, you can kind of tour 3 nights a week, maybe, but the distance between cities is so big. You get used to driving 9, 10, 11 hours to shows because it's just how it is. Whereas you go Europe or the States and you're like, cool, tomorrow's drive is 2 hours. You're like, all right.
As opposed to 8 or something like that.
Yeah, as opposed to 8 if you drive really fast from Sydney to
Okay.
Melbourne.
Possible. Doable.
Possible, but yeah, I've got some tickets for that before.
With Straight Arrows kind of coming along, uh, at what point did it, I mean, or did it always seem like it was like, yeah, this has some energy behind it, and this is gonna be the next, this is not gonna be like it's just a fleeting sort of project that you were gonna keep on with it. When did that become apparent?
Still feels like that. I got no idea. I don't know. Like it just people seem to want us to play, and that was cool because starting the band, I had no idea if anyone. I don't know if anyone would be into this. Like it was especially at the start, it was obnoxious and noisy, and it sounded weird to people. Like people weren't used to, you know, especially that first 7 inch sounds kind of crazy. We sent it to the local radio station in Sydney called FBI, and they messaged me and they're like, "I think this record is broken. Like it sounds fucked. Can you send us another one?" And I was like, "It's supposed to sound like that." And they're like, "Oh, okay."
And
And
that
then
was
they started playing it.
the Can't Count, right? That was the very first release?
Yeah, that's the one. I think
Okay.
that one and the other side, something happens. They both got played a lot on that station, which was very cool, especially when they thought it was broken.
That's a good start.
Yeah, and I guess it was just some contrarian part of me that was like, "Fuck it, let's do another one."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you feel like I mean, is it easier now? People kind of expect something different listening to Straight Arrows now. They know what they're getting into, but that hump of kind of just getting it out there might have been very tough.
It was weird. It weirdly got accepted. Like we sold out of that 7 inch really fast, which I was surprised because I thought I'd still have copies today. Like we did 200 and we did it as cheap as we could. Like we got white labels so we didn't have to get them printed, so I'd stamp them all. And it was back when like time seemed unlimited for me. Like I wasn't working a proper job or anything. So, if I save like $50 going to Kinko's and photocopying and printing and cutting out all the sleeves myself, even though it took me 10 hours, it seemed worth it.
Would it still feel worth it now to do that? To do it in that way?
Um, I'd probably go for a few shortcuts now. Like I still screen print all our t-shirts myself,
Okay.
which I really enjoy doing. But, before that I used to like hand paint them all myself, and I wouldn't be doing that anymore. Like I'd sit there I'd cut out a stencil, paint a t-shirt, cut out a new stencil, paint another t-shirt. If every t-shirt I made a new stencil, and that's the kind of idiot time management we were dealing with back then.
Much more organized now.
Yeah, I've got a lady who makes screens for me, and
A
I
well-oiled machine. I understand.
fairly well. Yes.
So how did you feel when that was finally released?
Confused and then happy.
How do you feel now when you release something new?
Uh, I mean, it's every record, I don't know if people are gonna buy it, and I still feel that way. Like I don't have some overwhelming confidence that I'm like, here's this new record, people are gonna fucking love this shit. Like every time I put out a new record, I'm like, is anyone gonna listen to it? Is someone gonna buy it? I have no idea, but here's what we got.
And this was all occurring in Sydney, correct?
Yeah,
Now, at that point, what was the music scene like in terms of I mean, was there multiple bands kind of getting up at the same time? Or was it sort of stagnant in that time of trying to get the band off the ground?
the local scene was pretty weird back then. It was a lot of, I think like disco rock was on its tail end. I'm not sure how privy you were to that micro genre. It was
I think some of it floated across my desk. I'm assuming at a certain point. This is around 2000, the later 2000s, early 2010s, that sort of a thing.
yeah, like when we started. So we were first playing shows like 2007. Like bands like The Rapture and that kind of thing. So this kind of angular disco rock had swept the east coast of Australia by storm. And so everyone was wearing like neon t-shirts, tight black jeans, and playing like two hands on the hi-hat kind of shit. And they loved that stuff, but said that they really liked Gang of Four. So that's kind of where it was at. And it became very pretentious. And so we get support with bands like that just because they needed someone to play with them, and we just like fuck shit up, destroy the stage, like just make it absolute mess because we were dicks, and we, I guess, is the answer. We were dicks.
But no more. You're nice guys now. It's a well-oiled machine, or fairly well-oiled machine, however we phrased it earlier.
Yeah, yeah, I think we've moved on from a complete contrarian point, but back then it felt like it was us with this, you know, raw guitar music versus these very slick productions. And this was just our little fuck you to that. And like like there weren't many rock or good rock bands in Sydney at the time. Like there'd been a big wave of kind of some like mid 2000s shoegaze kind of math rocky thing going on. So there was a lot of boring music, subjectively boring music going on as well. So this is just like, let's get some energy on the stage. Let's try to make this more exciting for us. And we'd get support shows, but we ended up just putting on our own shows at like, we'd find random bars which didn't put music on, or friends of friends would hook stuff up, or we'd play in warehouses because I know we're just trying to do our own thing, and I guess we're trying to separate ourselves from that and the overall music industry at the time.
How do you feel now? It seems like there's like a plethora of bands coming out, and I don't know if they're all Sydney based, but maybe Melbourne and these sorts of other places. How do you feel about the people who are coming up and kind of really making a mark on the music scene as a whole, and not just in Australia, but pretty popular around the world? How do you feel about that? Do you see that coming? Did you see that there was going to be a new wave of like this is going to jump in popularity, just bands from Australia in general, not so much of a genre defining sort of thing like this specific sound is going to come out of here, but in general, there's eventually going to be some people who really made a large leap into the public consciousness.
And no idea at the time. We're just doing it. Like I think the only band that we could really relate to is Eddie Current Suppression Ring. They'd started a couple years before us, and I'd see them every now and then. Actually, Mikey from that band pressed our first 7 inch. He was working at the plant that did it, and we are going down to Melbourne playing. One of his other bands was supporting us, and I was like, "Oh, these two tracks. If I sent them to you, do you reckon you get them on 7 inch by next week?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, that's cool." Like no one was even pressing 7 inches really back then. Bands were kind of, it's like they were confused. Like, how do we get our stuff on a record? And it's like, what you do is you send the songs to this guy and you send him some money. So yeah, went to that show, and Mikey showed up with a box of 7 inches for us, and we just stamped them all and put them into the sleeves I'd already cut out and sold them at the show, and that was like how it was going. But yeah, there's no way to foresee that, and like even a band like Eddie Current becoming this massive kind of touchstone of Australian music now was like kind of unthought of at the time. Like they, they're playing to people, but they weren't playing to massive crowds. Like they didn't even seem to really take off until like after their third album over here, I reckon. Second kind of Primary Colors probably put them a bit more into the public consciousness, but they weren't really a big thing until later. They were just kind of an underground band.
Was there a point where you felt like the Straight Arrows started getting some traction?
I don't know. When you're like, I'm in it, so it's hard to kind of
Yeah, look at it from an
really
outsider
gauge.
perspective. Right, right, right.
Totally. Like if people write back to my emails, that's cool. Beyond that, like, I I'm just doing it.
Do you ever go back and listen to older songs from the discography of the band at all, or do you just kind of hear them when when they show up in a set list every now and then.
I generally hate listening to my own voice, so I don't purposely seek out my own records. But when I was working on the latest 7 inch, which is called Middleman,
Out now,
um,
and people can buy it through the Bandcamp. That's the best place to get it.
yeah, actually go to Goodbye Boozy, the Italian guy, because we're all out.
Okay, goodbye, Boozy. He has some, but maybe only like five. So after
Right
this,
now.
like right now, go and get them. Yeah, yeah,
Pause, and yeah,
yeah. Pause and then come right back though. Right, come right
yeah,
back.
come
Going,
back
yeah,
because
come
there'll be
right
more
back.
secrets coming up.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the nastiness.
When I was working on that, because it's been a while since we've done a record for Goodbye Boozy, which is a Italian label I love, and the guy just puts out incredible kind of obnoxious garage stuff. Not always obnoxious, sometimes nicer too. But there's a certain aesthetic that of all the stuff he puts out, and I love it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to that first 7 inch real quick, just as you know, I feel like it should go for that kind of ballpark again. And I took a listen. I was like, whoa, this thing sounds fucked. Cool. So I guess that's my attitude to listen to the old stuff. This thing sounds fucked. Cool.
Was this the first time that you were kind of, for lack of a better term, behind the steering wheel when it came to like guiding a band, or had you had some experience doing that prior?
It was the first time I'd ever really played guitar and sang in a band
Hmm.
and had to hassle people to come to practice. You know, like I'd played in other bands and I'd help doing the emails to, you know, yes, we will be at the show at 8 p.m. or whatever. But it's the first time I'd had to run a band and, figure out admin and, you know, ordering shirts, ordering records, paying for shit, figuring out what time to pick people up to drive to Melbourne. So it's the first time I'd helmed a kind of operation. Like everyone else is cool and helps as well. So it's
It
yeah.
doesn't fall squarely on you, but it did. This origin of the band kind of revolved around you at that early stage. That's interesting though. How did you? I mean, how do you feel about it now? Do you feel like it comes kind of second nature to you to kind of get stuff going along with your other bandmates, kind of getting this thing together?
Yeah, I guess I just can't help it. Usually if I want to do something, I just set my mind to it and I guess I focus pretty hard. And so I seem to get stuff done and try not to upset everyone else along the way because I just like get very focused on matters at hand.
What was it like, kind of stepping into the role of playing guitar and singing in this group?
And I had to practice. It was hard.
You put your mind
Because
to it, and you
yeah, like
focus.
because like the first recordings, they were on like a 4 track cassette, and I could do them like the very first single. I was playing drums and bass and guitar. Al played guitar on one of the tracks. Maybe something happens. Yeah, he played guitar on that one, and we both did vocals on it. But I could do them separate. So like the guitar take and then sing. So when it came to like rehearsing with this band, I was like, fuck. But now I'm fairly competent at multitasking.
That's what Al said too. So I'm glad that these two stories are lining up pretty good.
Oh, good. I'm glad there's some confirmation.
So this is getting off the ground in Sydney, and finally you you get some more guys into the group. Uh, did everything just sort of happen to fall into place where it needed to be in order to get this thing moving as well? I mean, kind of going back to that whole natural sensitivity or sensibility through the band at this point, or was it kind of difficult to get moving after that first 7 inch was pressed? What kind of happened after that?
Um, around the time, I just kinda asked a couple of friends, like, my friends if they wanted to play in a band with me, and they were they were all just kinda like, "Yeah, sure, like, what do you wanna do?" And I was like, "Oh, here's the recordings. Let's go." And I think I was particularly motivated because I'd been kicked out of a couple of other bands at the time, and so this was like, revenge can be quite a powerful motivator. This is a little bit of that, I suppose.
Is that kinda what drives you now? Or maybe not revenge, but maybe, like, the same kind of inspirations? Are you searching for that still to write new songs? Or kind of just incorporating different areas of creativity, I guess?
I do try and write nice songs too sometimes. But, I think powerful powerful emotions, even if they're, a fleeting whatever, can help drive a song through. I find it, yeah, if I'm the older I get, the less irrationally pissed off I get about stuff, but, a fleeting glimpse of that can sometimes help drive a whole song through. And 'cause, songs, sometimes they come fast, sometimes they come annoyingly slow. Sometimes you'll be fucking around with a song for months before you decide you hate it. And sometimes, like, 10 minutes, you've got a song that you think is acceptable. So it's, I'd like to take inspiration from all around, but sometimes powerful emotions can just whip you into gear pretty fast.
Right. Going back to your experience with recording and kinda being in the studio, when did that, sorta happen?
That was a bit of a journey. I'd, gone to university to try and do recording stuff, and I fucking hated it. It was like the dawn oh, a later era of Pro Tools work, and, I'd come in with these records that I loved. They'd be like, "Oh, bring some stuff you like in, and we'll figure out how to record it." And I'd bring this stuff in, I'd be like, "How can I make my, let me find some source material. How can I make my recording sound like the Sonics?" And they'd be like, "Oh, you need to record that to tape. You need some old mics and stuff. You can't do that with this thing." And I was like, "Ah, okay." So I ended up leaving there, and I was so kinda disillusioned with this, like, "What do you mean all recording has to sound shit now?" That, I left my pizza job, became a mechanic, and then it wasn't until a friend, Al, let me actually, nothing over it, but some people let me 4 tracks, and I was like, I could kinda get ballpark distortion to some of these older things, and it just kind of it built up from there. So I was like, was doing 4-track cassette work just for myself, like just hang around trying to record songs, try out new ideas, and then friends would ask me to record them, so I just like chuck it in my bag, go to their house, and record them, and it built to this point where I was recording bands in my old house like every weekend for a while, and it was in like a shitty part of town at the time, so they're all houses built next to each other. There's a lot of crime on the street at the time, and it was mostly like students and people who wanted cheap houses living next door, so they didn't care. I'd go take the beers if I was doing heaps of loud stuff. And, I'd just come across better equipment, so I ended up with this like 8-track tape machine that looked like a washing machine, which was under the stairs. And I also had, like, housemates too, so I'd be like, "Can you not cook breakfast? Like, I'm trying to record some drums." That was just, like, constantly happening, and I was also just, like, so determined, I was completely unaware of how much doing this was probably adversely affecting not only my housemates, but the rest of the street. So, eventually, after doing it for a couple of years like that, there was a number of complaints and some problems, and I had to stop. But then I found a cheap space in King's Cross on the other side of town, and I was kind of like, you know what, maybe I can afford to pay rent on what I'm doing. Like I think people actually are paying me for this, so let's give it a crack.
So I mean, it was kind of just like a step by step process of just getting people in and learning as you went along.
Pretty much. Like if I was a more organized person, I would have set some kind of plan and goals, but I was just rolling with it and seeing what happened. Like I had no, I mean, I still don't have a plan. It's just like do it.
Looking back on it now, do you think that you would be in the position that you're in now if you kept on with the learning this in school? Do you think that you would have inevitably wound up in the same place or something completely different?
I don't know where I would have been. Like I doubt it. I think I needed the a big like fuck this moment, I'm out of here to go back and being like, you know what? I hate these computers. I'm gonna record this shit to cassette and see if I can make it sound how I want this stuff to sound.
Did it come somewhat naturally to you to kind of achieve the desired sound? Is it something that comes naturally to you?
Oh, I worked really hard. Like I'd be every day I'd be getting up and messing around with these recorders just to be like, how can I squeeze like a little more generally is how can I squeeze a little more distortion onto this to make it sound just a bit more like this, you know, something that I would want to listen to and not. It's also probably that like now I feel very competent with digital recording. Like I still record to tape, but if I got to do all digital recording, I feel like I still make it sound how I want it to sound. I just had no idea back then, and being able to smash some preamps onto a tape felt like a shortcut to better sound.
Do you feel like your work with in recording and your work with the band kind of overlapped and kind of fed each other in certain aspects?
Definitely, like I was when I was recording all that early stuff, I was still learning, and if it didn't sound right, I just do another take until I felt it got closer, and then I'd put it out when the deadline was like, if you want to get this pressed, it needs to get to me today, and I'd be like, oh fuck, okay. Okay.
I- is time a factor that keeps on giving in terms of getting stuff done?
Yeah, I'm useless without a deadline, even if it is a weird self-imposed one. But I think all studio projects are pretty much like that. Like the project is done when the studio time is over.
Yeah. It seems, and I've talked to a lot of musicians about this, and it seems like that is a factor that helps a lot of people. It's like it has to be done, by the 8th at this time. It has, that's the cutoff. Because if not, then you just spiraling out, right? And just, oh well, it could be better here, and it could be. I mean, you could just get stuck in a loop.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I like about doing a lot of analog work too. Like it's harder to get back in there and tweak stuff that you're overthinking. You sometimes just have to let it go.
Right, right. It's kind of an interesting duality between the two of like forcing one hand while just letting the other one do whatever it's going to do, sort of a thing. It's
Pretty much.
it's interesting. Oh, and it's interesting. So look, Straight Arrows has happened at in 2007. This is getting off the ground. Um, and we're almost looking at 20 years of this project being around. I mean, does it feel like it's been that long
Not
since
at all.
its inception?
Not at all. It feels incredibly short. And I could not fathom that it would still be going to this day. I had no idea. I Yeah, no idea. It just kept rolling and it kept being fun and exciting, and people also kept showing up and buying records. So I guess that's what kept it rolling. But mainly the fact that it's still really enjoyable and, get to hang out with my friends and travel and make some
Yeah,
music.
I mean, that's a lot of people's dreams right there. That's incredible. Uh, what has been a major change throughout these almost, I mean, well, let's just say 19 years here of doing it and putting out albums and working on this one project.
I mean, I'm constantly working on other stuff for people. Like I'm doing albums for people and yeah, daily I'm working on someone else's record. So I'm not 100% focused on this all the time.
But
And,
it is something that's
sometimes,
been on the back burner for an amount. I mean, like not. I mean, some people that when they get into this sort of thing, it seems like yeah, and then it just kind of fell by the wayside because they were doing other things. But this has been a constant, which is just a super interesting position to be in.
yeah, I don't know, man. It's just kept rolling along. And yeah, has there been any major changes? We've, lost and gained a few band members here and there, but life, changes for people, and but that's how it is.
Right. What do you continue to get from making music with this band? I mean, aside from making it with friends and stuff, but is there something else that you get out of continually working on this project?
Deep questions.
This
Let's
this
see.
is the last one. I gotta have a good one to go off on, Owen. So
What do I still get out of it? I guess it's just still enjoyment, satisfaction, and a reason to drive around with my buddies. Like, that's it. Like, I still enjoy writing songs. I enjoy collaborating with these other guys to try and make them better. And I don't know, sometimes you surprise yourself with a cool new track or whatever. Or, like you get hit up by a band you really like to go tour with them. Like we're going to Europe in a few months and we're going to play a handful of shows with OCs, which is
oh, I
mad.
hate those guys. They're the worst. Just kidding. That's awesome, man. That is fantastic that that this thing that you fell into has spurred so many good things out of your life. That's amazing, Owen. I'm glad to hear it,
It's
dude.
Thanks. Yeah, it's like I'm not anything I would have expected when I was a you know, dickhead teenager, but here we go. Like, we're getting to tour Japan in 3 weeks, which I've always wanted to do. And, after playing in the same band for 19 years, it's happening. Stuff like that will keep you going.
Dreams do come true.
Yeah.
Um, Owen, I really appreciate you coming on here, man. But before I let you go, we got some promo to do for this band that you've been working with for 19 years, as you so lovingly put it just now. Um, Straight Arrow's music is streaming everywhere. Wherever people get their music, that's where they could find you, right?
Yeah.
Right on. And all the merch along with the digital tracks can be purchased through the Bandcamp at straightarrows.bandcamp.com. That's one of the places that people can go support the band, right?
Yeah. If you buy it through that, I will personally pack the record or t-shirt myself.
And what was the other Italian distribution or record company label that you
So
mentioned before?
the latest 7-inch we did is came out on a label called Goodbye Boozy out of Italy. And they've got I'm not sure what his setup is at the moment. I think you might have to go to his Bandcamp, then email him and ask him. I'm not entirely sure how that all works, but buy a couple of weird records from him. He's very cool. And like we're fortunate enough to have like a label called Lollipop putting out our records in the States.
Is it Lollipop
And
Records?
Yeah, yeah, they put out the
Okay,
last
yeah.
album for us.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Shout out to Wyatt Blair. He's the man.
Yeah. There we go. And a guy
And go
called
back and listen to his episodes on here.
Oh,
He's
you did one with him. You did. Oh, cool.
yeah, he was one of the first ones. He's yeah. He's a
Oh man.
major player in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout
Lovely
out to
guy.
Wyatt.
Yeah, shout out to Wyatt. And in UK Europe, there's a label called Agitated that's put out all four of our albums. Actually, five if you include the live one.
And you know I do, Owen. All right, fantastic. So those are some some gateways into getting a hold of some of these releases, and everyone can stay up to date with news and shows and tours and everything else by following the band on Instagram at Straight Arrows. That's the best place, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Right on. And also the link tree also has some links to some tickets and what have you, upcoming shows and the like. So, and that's at
I might update that. I'm not sure when I last looked at that one.
by the time this
Hold tight
comes
on those
out,
ones.
it'll be,
Those links will be tight.
or they'll at least be viewed and
Yeah,
observed from a
there
glance.
we go.
Do we have anything else on? When do the shows for Japan start? You said 3 weeks from now?
Yeah, that'll start on March 24.
Okay, cool.
That's coming soon. I was actually just before I spoke to you, I was figuring out how to order t-shirts in Japan.
Did you figure it out? Do you have a lead on this?
I think it's a slightly convoluted process, but I think I've got it. So I'm just waiting for an email back, and then they should be here in time. I should be there in time.
So we'll just say this: if you attend a show in Japan, please buy some merch, specifically the t-shirts, because it's going to be a pain in the ass to get them there on time.
Yeah, and then I don't have to bring them back after.
Didn't think about that part too. So yeah, just do Owen a favor and buy some shirts, especially on whatever the last show is. Count how many shirts there are and buy the rest out, please.
Yeah, Yokohama, buy shirts.
Please, we're counting on you to sell these shirts. Um, Owen, do we have anything else to promote here, or did we kind of cover all the bases?
Um, what else? I think that's about everything. Straight Arrows new 7-inch came out a month ago, and I think it's close to selling out. Everything else is just weird stuff that I've been working on besides that.
Now you are working at I don't remember the name of the studio that you're currently working at. I think it's in your Instagram perhaps. Is that where people could reach out to record with you? Are you open for availability for that or no?
Yeah, yeah, people hit me up. I just don't advertise because I always seem to be busy, like which is cool. But yeah, if
That's a
you want to
good
work with
problem.
me, I'm always excited to work on all sorts of weird stuff. Like a very funny one I just worked on was I've been doing some work with an English producer called Mark Pritchard, and I was doing some drum recording for him, and then he asked me if I wanted to do a bit of work on a soundtrack for about a British producer called Joe Meek, who's a 60s guy who died tragically at the time, and yeah, there's a doco about some new evidence. And then in the course of that, he was like, "Hey, I just got asked to do a Nine Inch Nails remix. Would you like to help me out on that?" And so that was a real random thing that it probably came out like 5 days ago. So
Now is that streaming everywhere as well?
it
The
is.
remix. Okay. What
It,
what is
it
it?
is. It's
What is it called? Nine
The
Inch
song
Nails.
is called I Know You Can Feel It. It's off a re Nine Inch Nails did a Tron album for the latest movie. I did the soundtrack for that. This is the remix album, so it's I Know You Can Feel It, Mark Pritchard remix. And yeah, if you hear that, you can hear the ridiculous like we're trying to figure out how to make Trent sound kind of like weirder and cooler. So we ran him through this. I'll see if I can find a picture for you. Ran him through this like toy karaoke microphone box. I ended up playing bass and guitar all over this thing too, and yeah, did a whole bunch of the production on it. So that's not
But
the kind of thing you expect to be ending up on.
no, your hands all over this thing, so go ahead and go listen to that as well. That's yeah, that's amazing. Now, was that out there in Australia or was it in England that you were working on this, or a bit of both?
I was just in Australia, so
Okay.
this producer lives in Australia now. I don't know if you can
Okay.
see it, but this is the let me get that. This is the karaoke box that we ran him through.
I mean, it looks like it would just really promote some interesting sounds out of that. So, if that doesn't entice you to go listen to this new remix, I don't know what would. That's amazing,
It,
though.
it doesn't sound anything like straight arrows at all, but it sounds like some a lot of fun in the studio.
That's great. That's fantastic. Yeah, so go listen to that. Go buy the new release from the Italian distribution. Well, I'll get those links up there in the below. So if you want to go support them, you can and you should. And once again, Japan, buy those shirts. Now, do we have anything else to promote? That's it, right?
I think that's it. I'll start cooking up a new record soon, I reckon, and
Okay, so keep
you
your
know,
eyes peeled at Straight Arrows on Instagram to stay up to date with all that stuff. And Owen, thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate you coming on here.
oh, thanks so much for having me, Jacob. It's mad.
I appreciate you saying that. I don't believe you, but that's fine.
All
No, I'm gonna stop recording this. I'll talk to you in a minute. All right.
right, sweet.
All right. Thank you, man.